It's been a week now since we pulled into Georgia and left our work camping job at Wading Pines Camping Resort in Chatsworth, New Jersey. It's hard to tell that by looking at me because, you know, we worked there for 18 months and I keep pulling out the Wading Pines t-shirts because that's what I'm used to. Things have been a lot different here than it was in New Jersey. And we're trying to learn our new routine, and I am going to take this video today to kind of tell you about how our first week is gone and our plans moving forward and what things look like. But first, let me just kind of show you the lot. We've done a lot to fix up the lot. We had a neighbor give us a flower pot, so I went out and got a flower for it. And then I'm just going to kind of show you around. We have bought some lawn furniture or some patio furniture. Got this used from the Crossing Creek for sale page on Facebook. Finally found a place to put the electric bikes right here underneath the slide. Got a new cover for the grill because I got flagged. I had it covered in a tarp. You see the tarp down there, but tarps aren't allowed in the neighborhood. And then we sold the picnic table and opened this area up. We got these two storage boxes put together. And then yesterday our new steps arrived. We built those and put those together. Those are actually spa steps, but they work perfectly. They were under $80. And what I like about them is they have a place to store stuff. When you live full-time in an RV, you are always trying to figure out where to store stuff. I'm gonna keep like bug spray and ant killer and that sort of stuff in those little storage compartments, and it'll be easy peasy. Now I do have to figure one thing out. When we got this lot, our stanchion is in really bad shape. The guts are good, but our actual stanchion is no good. I got a price to fix it, and fix it means pull it out and put a new one in, and they want $5,000. So what I think I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna cut this off right here. I'm gonna get some like epoxy and I'm gonna fill in all these cracks, and then I'm gonna repaint it the same color, and I think we'll be good enough. Now let's get into the topic of the day. If you've been following the channel, you know that we arrived here on our lot in Blairsville, Georgia on August the 19th. Today is August the 26th. So we have been here for exactly 1 week. We've got the RV settled back on the lot like you saw. We're starting to establish new routines. There's no work camping job to report to, so the days belong to us. We control our own day again. But that freedom comes at a responsibility or a price of trying to generate enough income without a job from Georgia. You know, this is the first time in a long time when you wake up in the morning and nobody else owns your day. You don't have to rush to the camp store to get the money out of the safe to give to the workers. You don't have to go rush out to fix a water leak on Site 181 because Stephanie yanked on her hose too hard and broke the line. You don't have to do that, but you do have to figure out how to replace the $4,000 a month Cindy and I lost by giving up our work camping job of managing Wading Pines Camping Resort. As you know, Cindy and I have got several side hustles going, and we operate them from inside the shed here that I showed you earlier. Now we're gonna go in there. It's a little bit of a mess. because I've hung a TV in here. I have got some furniture and stuff in here, but I'm going to kind of show you what we're doing. So this is where I work from. I just got a new video uploaded to Elic IRL, which is our new YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below. And from this station, I list eBay items. Like this is a bunch of eBay stuff I've got to list. I list them and then I store it up there, if you can see up there, or I store it back here. And last week was the first week. We didn't do all that great, but so far, yesterday we sold $60, day before we sold $60, the day before that we sold $36. I sold a remote control today for, I think, $15, so we've started the days working properly. Now the other thing we're doing is I'm trying to DoorDash 2 or 3 days a week, and I misspoke earlier. We arrived on the 17th, not the 19th. But if you look at my DoorDash schedule, on the 18th I drove DoorDash, I made $100. On the 21st I made $84. On the 24th I made $72. So those are two of the side hustles that we are doing to make our ends meet. Also, as y'all know, I've written a KDB book, or Cindy and I have. It's a slow cooker, RV related, you know, how to get the most meals out of a small kitchen type things using a crock pot. So we've written that. I've sold 8 copies of that this month on KDP on Amazon. That link will also be below. And that has generated another $42. I'm also an Amazon affiliate. Like when I list the stairs, like I showed you those stairs. I'll put a link in the description here. You don't have to buy the stairs, but if you click on that and then buy anything, we get a commission. I've made $36 so far this month from that. I am in the process of working on 2 more KDB books, and those are slow going. The first one took me almost a year to do. And when I get those listed, we'll be getting income from those. Now this is Cindy's side. Let me show you something. Who is that cute couple? That's Elic and Cindy back in our dating days. But this is Cindy's side. We've got a tablet here. She is going to be a, see right there, Sharp Electric. She is going to be the office manager working remotely for our son in South Carolina. And today her new computer should be coming, her mouse, and he's bought her a lot of office supplies. And then he's coming up on Saturday to help me underpin the shed, but he is also going to set up all the programs that Cindy needs to schedule jobs, to schedule appointments, to do online permitting, all those type of things. And her salary with him, she'll be getting paid weekly, will replace or almost replace her half of the $4,000. So we're halfway there. And if, let me turn this fan on to start cooling Cindy's side down. There we go. So that is replacing Cindy's half of the income. I am not quite there yet, but I do have one thing up my sleeve, and that is in March I will be able to start taking Social Security, which will make up a good portion of my half and then the side hustles, and I think we will be good. Just so you believe me, there's Cindy over there working hard, getting the books caught up. That's one thing my son hasn't done. It's August, and she is over there reconciling all the bank statements for the entire year. And if I didn't mention it in that last section, of course, I'm going to list my eBay store in the description and in the pinned comment for this vlog. It's Backroad Treasures CO, or for company, on eBay. Now, I know a lot of people are wondering, like, why did y'all make such a drastic change to your lifestyle? You know, we had a good thing going in Chatsworth. You know, we were making good money to where we were able to save money every month, which was an important part because we had been saving $1,000 a month while we were up there. We had a certain goal because I kind of knew this was coming, and so we wanted the savings so we could start all these side hustles to replace our income, and that did not get to the point that we had hoped, but we do have a nice little cushion. Will definitely get us through until March with Cindy's remote job and the little bit of side hustle money I'm making right now. But so we have that. But if you've been watching the channel for a little while, you know that my mother had to have spinal surgery. She is well, I'm not going to tell you her age, but I'll tell you I'll be 62 in February, and she wasn't 4 when she had me. And so her rehab has actually been going better than we thought, but my parents are going to need a little more assistance than they did 8.5 years ago when we started this journey of full-time RV living. And my sister, who, thank goodness, she lives just about a mile from my parents down in Bluffton, South Carolina. But she is, you know, in her 40s, and she's got 4 teenagers and a husband that's starting his own business, and she's got a lot going on, and adding the additional responsibility of taking care of things that my parents can't do or might need help with has been a burden. And you know, after having spinal surgery, Mom is not as mobile as she was. She's using a walker. If she goes a long distance, she's in a chair being pushed and that sort of stuff. And my dad just can't leave her for long periods of time. Now, thank goodness, as a family, we came to the decision that he was going to have somebody come in to assist Mom a couple days a week. I think right now just 2 days a week. And that is a really big help. And it reduces the burden on my father, my sister, and myself and Cindy. But burden may not be the right word. Let's go, reduces the amount of assistance that we need to provide for my mother. So right now the plan is we are 4.5 hours away. If Mom was to fall or something was to happen, then, you know, of course, Cindy and I can jump in the adventure Jeep and go to South Carolina and be of assistance. Where, if we were still in Chatsworth, New Jersey, that's almost 15 hours away. Not as easy to do. So we're closer for that. And then we're going to go down once or twice a month for an undetermined number of days. I think weekend after next is our next visit. I think we're going down for 5 days. I'll have to check the calendar. That gives my sister some needed break. It allows my father, because we will be staying at the house, it allows my father to schedule a golf outing with his friends, or take care of doctor's appointments, or just do whatever he used to do before my mother needed the extra care. Now, we're hoping this does not go on more than about a year to 18 months, and then we can get back on the road traveling or doing whatever we want to do. And whatever we want to do may include staying here in Georgia and doing shorter trips. Like last winter when we were here, we had 9 inches of snow that lasted 4 or 5 days in February. You know, our new adventures may be, We rent a spot in Fort Myers, Florida for a month and go down there for a month and enjoy the Florida weather. Or we may go down to Port Lavaca, Texas on the coast, or Rockport or somewhere, and enjoy life from there. But for now, we're here, and this new third, if you watched last week's video, we calling this the third stage of our full-time RV lifestyle. One thing that's very encouraging is what's happening with Sharing the Journey. This channel that I have so diligently worked on for the last 3 years is we finally crossed the 7,000 subscriber mark. So thank y'all to all the subscribers who have been watching and joining our weekly vlog, plus the other content I put up midweek. Let me pull out the stats real quick. Let's see. In the last 28 days, and I'm only saying this because in New Jersey the channel became very stagnant. You know, we were doing the same thing. We were always at the campground. We were always, you know, this is what's broke this week, and people enjoyed that content, but I think this is going to give us more of a variety and should help keep the channel more interesting. But if I look at the stats in the last 28 days, now I know we've only been here for a little bit of that, but some of the videos prior to that were us preparing to leave, us leaving New Jersey. We've had 33,000 views, 2,200 watch hours. We've gained 208 subscribers, which is up by like 150. And our estimated revenue is $249.97, which our channel averages between $200 and $215 roughly a month. So we're already seeing an increase in that revenue. So thank y'all very much for that. But I just say that because that's another way we support ourselves. And this channel has become a passion of mine. And I spend a lot of time coming up with the weekly vlog, coming up with, if we do like a Saturday type of video. So the vlogs come out Wednesday, which is today, at 7 p.m. And then I try to put up a Saturday 8 a.m. video. I don't always do that, but the goal moving forward is to do 2 videos a week. So I think this is going to give me more time to improve the channel and continue working on it. In this new lifestyle, people are wondering, so what does a typical day look like? Now I will tell you, when we were at the campground, a typical day looked like I would get up at 6:30, Cindy would get up at 8. I would walk the dogs. I would go to the store and make sure the cash drawers were available for the clerks, and I would scan the telephone logs to see if there were any maintenance that needed to be scheduled and that sort of stuff. And then I would spend the day fixing stuff or working in the store, and that was a 7-day-a-week job. Here in Blairsville, I still get up around 6:30, sometimes a little bit later. And here in the mornings, I work on eBay, listing and shipping. Like after I get through filming this, I've got to go ship that remote. 2 to 3 days a week in the afternoon or evening, I will drive DoorDash. In between that, I will film YouTube. I'm trying to do 2 videos a week on this channel, but if you've been watching my new Alec IRL, which thank you very much, it's up to 82 subscribers and I appreciate that. I film those as a daily vlog. Sometimes they're 8 minutes, sometimes they're 35 minutes. If we're out door dashing, I film that. If I'm just listing stuff, I film that. So we do that. And then Cindy, she started yesterday her remote job, and she's doing that right now part-time this week and next week. She's going to work roughly 20 hours a week doing that. And once the other office girl is phased out, which is be about 2 weeks, she's gotten another job. And then Cindy will be doing that 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. And then we've also got the trips to South Carolina that we have to plug in to help our family. But I will say the in-between parts, we are enjoying exploring North Georgia. You know, like we did a trip to Murphy, North Carolina yesterday. We went over to Blue Ridge, Georgia 2 days ago. And we're going to try to go over to Vogel State Park this weekend, depending on how much time it takes us to do the underpinning. But that is kind of what our new life looks like. And in between all that, I'll keep working on my books. That's what chapter 3 of Sharing the Journey is going to be about. We're not traveling to a new campground or destination every week. We're also not stuck in one campground for months at a time, showing repair after repair after repair. We're trying to build a life that gives us enough income, enough freedom, enough flexibility to be where our family needs us and when, and still enjoy the full-time RV lifestyle. The big question is, can eBay, DoorDash, YouTube, the KDP books, Cindy's remote jobs give us enough income to make this lifestyle work long term? I think it can. We've just got to prove it for ourselves. So that's pretty much a wrap up of our first week and how lives have changed. Shameless plug is, if you have not already, please like this video, subscribe, and go back and watch some of the older videos, especially if you're new, to kind of see how we got to where we are. But for now, safe travels, and thank you so much for joining us on another vlog here at Sharing the Journey.